in my Manchester tour. The ones that I haven't, I apologize that my first address is under these circumstances. I felt compelled to participate in this webinar for a couple of reasons. Number one is to really lay out the facts of what has happened. I'm very disappointed for sure, as well as Chris, and I'm sure many of you guys are. Number two is that I really wanted the opportunity to address you just as a representative of the program manager. So I want to outline the facts, and I'm going to endeavor for your benefit as well as my benefit what is transpired. I'm going to endeavor to look for the truth and really just kind of make sure that the right decision was made. I can't promise that the program will ever be live again. Unfortunately, that's not my decision to make. So I want to kind of focus on the facts. The fact is that there has been a growing number of online campaigns that has originated from bloggers, independent bloggers, as well as disgruntled affiliates, as well as potentially just non-working individuals that may or may not know the entire scope of the Banersbrokers program. Unfortunately, with the accessibility of the internet and the ease of information sharing, these individuals has caused quite a stir. And several months ago, I thought we had a handle on them by implementing a online task force that would rebuttal against blogs, that we would actively pursue everything from counter posting of information as well as counter blogging, as well as threats of legal proceedings. Unfortunately, the noise got the better of us, and even up to several weeks ago, we had encouraged Banersbrokers, and they have fully complied, to have an independent auditor come in and assess the business. I've had this discussion with Chris Smith, and he's agreed that even despite what has happened, we believe it's still a good business to move forward with this independent auditor to get a letter of good standing, not for the prepaid card, but moving forward, it's important to have a letter from an auditor saying that this is a good and viable business. So I applaud Chris for that. Specifically, from MasterCard's perspective, the information that I've received is that this online negative news, online publicity, and this online noise unfortunately has overwhelmed MasterCard, and as a result, and as simply as a result of this, they have deemed it to be a risk to their brand and cited brand risk reasons to cease this program. We've tried our very best to explain. Unfortunately, when you're dealing with brand risk, there's no logic or rhyme or reason. Unfortunately, the decision was made by brand standards as well as legal by MasterCard to close this program. So on behalf of Vector, I apologize for any of the inconvenience that this may present to you. Certainly this is not what I wished. And as a company, we apologize to each and every one of you that has been a great supporter of our program. Chris?
Okay, great. Thanks very much, Ted. Thank you very much for coming on board here. I'm going to go through some of these questions to see in front of us here, and both myself and or Ted will answer them. And just want to, before I go into some of the questions, I do see quite a bit of positive feedback and a lot of support from a lot of the affiliates here on this webinar. So, you know, I really appreciate all the positive words and great feedback. And guys, you know, we're sticking together, and we're going to move on from this. We're going to prevail and come up with other options. As simple as that. You know, any company, there's going to be challenges. This is a big challenge, of course. It also, you know, doesn't look good, of course. It also feeds into some of the bloggers, if I may say, and add some fuel. However, we're here, we're strong, and we're going to come up with a solution. So, and we're as I've always said, if you heard me in UK, you heard over these the different webinars. We are here for the long term, guys. 2.9 was put in place for the longevity of the company. A lot of changes that have taken place in terms of how we are portrayed, in terms of making sure we're not using certain words in presentations, in terms of guiding affiliates what to say, how to say it, and guiding what to post on the internet. I do have to applaud our compliance department, who we've had dedicated people now over the last couple of months who tirelessly went through and, you know, combing on a day-to-day basis. I mean, that's their job every day, to comb through the internet as much as possible and to try to clean it up as much as possible. They have successfully cleaned up hundreds upon hundreds of blogs and sites and YouTube videos. We would have a direct link to a channel partner over on YouTube to help get the videos off faster. We have direct links to some of the large blog providers to really give us assistance in terms of cleaning up the internet as much as possible. And, you know, the last couple of days is thinking about this whole thing, and internet itself, can make you very quickly in terms of the company, in terms of the viral growth, and because of the communication, the way of information flow is as fast as it is today, it can also be very harmful. And as you can see with any negative press, you know, companies such as MasterCard, that they've been telling us over the months, and you've heard us over the months post different articles or different postings from MasterCard saying what you're not allowed to say, and they warned us a few times, but it's really, all we can do is have the police department in place to try to get it down as fast as possible. Today, it's unfortunate that we have lost that battle, and in terms of not getting it as much down as fast as possible, and they're not comfortable at this point to move forward. So that's the story, guys, as far as the MasterCard is concerned. We are moving forward. I am looking at some of these questions here, and some people are asking about SDP and PESA. How long will it take at this point? I'm going to have to be very honest with you. The main reason we were moving away from using the third-party payment providers is simply because of the time it does take for us to port over and wire cross-country in millions upon millions of dollars, and there are several delays in that, and that's the reason why we were moving towards the card platform. So SDP, we were already behind with the payouts of SDP simply because of that fact. Now, now there's going to be even more people in SDP to cover. We don't have an instantaneous, easy solution for SDP apart from saying you will get paid. We will try to respect what we will do. I'm just thinking about this as I speak here. We will try to respect the timeline in terms of when you did your withdrawal on the card to match in queue with the timeline of when people have an SDP withdrawal. I know the withdrawal requests are going to be new, but if we see that you did a card reversal, a card request, a withdrawal request to the card, and now is a reversal, then we will respect the timeline to be able to be paid in queue. So that being said, PESA may be a little bit faster because it's not as popular as SDP. So there's less money that needs to be funneled into those accounts. You know, as I say this to a webinar of thousands of people in a recorded webinar, to watch that become the more popular option. But guys, take it with, you know, it is what it is right now. We are looking at other solutions, and we are looking at ways to make sure that you're able to get paid at a timely fashion. All I can say is it is unfortunate to bring you this news. Let me scroll through here and see if I see any additional questions here. And Ted, if you have anything else, you could chime in while I flip through these list of questions.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I do actually have one point here. You're going to see some additional communications from Vector as we get information, as we get guidance from MasterCard and the bank to wind this program down. We will try to be as forthcoming with the information as we get it. Obviously, that this is not an easy task to undertake. We had a lot of success and a lot of cardholders. I would like to encourage all cardholders to take advantage of the facilities of the card for the next 10 days to please draw down on your balances either via ATM or POS transactions. The alternative, which we're getting guidance from MasterCard and the bank, is that any remaining balances on the card will be a fairly tedious process to complete paperwork and to have the monies returned back to the cardholder. So the quickest, the fastest, and the most simplistic way is over the next 10 days to draw down on your balance. It isn't something that I thought I would say, and unfortunately it's very difficult for me to convey this message, but it is the appropriate message for you guys. So please go ahead and use up the card balances.
Okay, great. Thanks, thanks, Ted. Now, one other thing, we are going to stick to the max withdrawal of the $10,000 a month, simply because we want to keep it fair. What SCP that is. We want to keep it fair across the board to make sure that each person is able to receive something, as opposed to people doing, you know, $50,000 requests. And because, as you know, it's not a secret. We've mentioned that there's only so much that we can send at any given time across the wire to STP. So we want to have a fair distribution across the board. Okay. Okay, and to be honest with you, this is a pleasant surprise. I'm looking for questions, and I honestly am seeing a lot of just positive sentiments, and so much so that I think I'm going to ask your permission if we could post some of these comments. If so, just simply say yes, please post in the question box, and then if your name comes up, we will post your comments, because I do believe that now is the time to see the positive side in terms of what we're trying to accomplish. And okay. Okay. One question, a couple questions here about PayPal. It's something that PayPal has some strict guidelines in terms of using them, and I've used them in the past for other ventures, and it's not the best platform to use for several reasons, which I don't need to get into right now. But no, we will not be using PayPal. Okay. Okay, one person saying I loaded my card with $625 and paid the charge. However, still pending. How do I get this payment? Okay, so regarding that, I mentioned it already. I just reiterated it, that you will have any withdrawal request will automatically be reversed. You're free to reverse it yourself before the automation happens. I would like to try to get the automated reversals done prior to the end of the week. I'll double check with IT when that can be done. However, you will receive back your withdrawal fee. We will receive that back as well. Okay. I'm just sipping through, looking for other questions here, and just to go over the card limitations again. You're able to do $1,000 withdrawal per day, and for those people who missed the beginning of the call, we have until March the 22nd, which is the day the cards will cease to work completely. Okay, so between now and March 22nd, which is 10 days, please deload your card. So you can take off up to $1,000 a day at the ATM. That's $1,000 US, by the way. So if you're in a country with a currency, let's use Canada, for example, that may only represent 960, 980. You may not be able to take 1,000 Canadian or 1,000 euro, for example. Make sure you are doing your equivalent in your country, and it's 1,000 per USD I'm talking. Okay, so and also on top of that is $2,500 a day for purchases. So if you want to use your card in that manner, go ahead and use up the money on the card. What happens if you not use it on the 22nd? What will happen is that the card will cease to work, and any amount that is left on the card, you will be mailed a check directly. There is going to be quite a delay on it. It could be 3 months before you receive the check, and it may be another 60 days for that check to clear in your country. So you don't want that to happen. So please deload the card as quickly as possible. So guys, that's it for today. It does mark a milestone that is, I wouldn't say a positive one, but if we flip it out onto a positive based on us coming together and come up with a solution that could even be better, let's look at it that way. Onward and upward, and BB is here to stay. Take care, guys.